my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Vandana Shiva.
Thank you, Shannon. It is an honor to be with this tremendous group of people who are helping the new river of freedom chart its way. And I'd like to take the concept of eco-apartheid one step further. Separation on the basis of race, of gender, was wrong, of slavery, of owning some people as property, and humanity has accepted that. We are at a moment where there is, of course, the separation from nature, being understood scientifically and ethically as a huge error created to make the Industrial Revolution and the rise of life organized around capital accumulation possible. But that error is showing its unbearable costs, creating a total closure to the future. All the issues we've talked about in terms of ecological non-sustainability, climate change, species extinction, the water crisis, the buildup of toxics, is there for us to see. But I think there is another echo. Let's not forget that both economy and ecology rose from the same word oikos, aho. Economy lost its way. Can't come home. We have to show it how to come home. And that is why the Declaration of the Rights of Mother Earth is really a signpost for the economy that is lost to come home. As it's gone astray, of course it has accumulated money that is unimaginable in a few hands. Can you imagine the $3 trillion moving around the world every day, 70 times more than all the goods and services nature produces and humans produce? It's an impossible equation. That kind of money can only grab the resources of the earth to make more money. That is what the green economy is all about. Hungry money that has lost its way, now trying to destroy the rest of our home. But it has had a cost, not just for the earth, it's had a huge human cost. So we see the rise of the Occupy movement, which named the economy as a 1%, 99% economy, where 99% are excluded. In Spain, I advised Zapatero, who used to be the Prime Minister, and I told him on our last meeting, just listen to the indignados, you'll win the elections. Because the indignados were saying, we didn't create the problem. The financial institutions created the problem. Why should we bail them out with our lives? And he didn't listen to them. And they lost. But the indignados are saying, we are left out. The system has nothing for us. We have to create another system. In Greece, just look at what's happening there. In Italy, I was there as a guest of the province of Rome, and it was unbelievable. Here's the local government of the province taking me around to visit gardens created, urban gardens created by occupying empty plots, both to stop developers from grabbing those plots, because the new Prime Minister Monti has only one job. He's appointed by Goldman Sachs on how to take over what remains in the hands of people. Every public park, every public space. So here's an Occupy movement of urban gardens, and one of the group of gardeners were IT professionals who had lost their job because their company was closed. And I said, well, you know, I always knew that after the IT boom will be the garden and taking care of the earth. And physically, I saw it in front of my eyes. Now, both of the human crisis and the planetary crisis are actually rooted in the same problems that every one of the panelists has addressed. The idea that the world is a machine, nature is dead, only property, only to be extracted, and that the tools of extraction are the measure of human progress. That the tools of exploitation measure how smart we've become as human beings. But the Bhutanese government has woken us up to the fact that gross national product doesn't measure the welfare of people and the well-being of people. The issue of property that was raised by Shannon. I started saving seeds and I started the movement Navdanya 25 years ago, because to me it was unacceptable that life be treated as an invention of corporations when all they do is steal our knowledge, our biodiversity, and then they want to collect rents from life, pushing our farmers to suicide. 250,000 Indian farmers have committed suicide. Every one of them committed suicide because of debt. Most of the debt is because of costly, non-renewable, patented seed. And the only way you get patents is through genetic engineering. That's why the push for genetic engineering. But the presentation of genetic engineering is, it is innovation. The green economy is justified on the fact that now a handful of companies with tools to create synthetic organisms will be able to deliver plastics and petrol and diesel from the life forms of the planet, the biomass of the planet. We did a report last year on the failure of GMOs. It's called GMO Emperor Has No Clothes. So the economic model is failing, the technological model is failing. It keeps being presented as a success in the closed doors, but in our lives, in our homes, it's failing. And it's costing a lot. That's why we need a change. And the change is being made right here. One of the things that a lot of people who still work on the narrow idea of human rights as separate from earth rights, their worry is, but how will we meet the needs of people if nature is respected? All our work in Navdanya shows the more you respect nature, the more you look after humans. We have a report called Health Per Acre that shows the more you protect species, the more food humans get. So we don't have to destroy soil organisms, butterflies, bees, plant diversity, fooling us as we are getting more food. We're just getting more commodities, they're not feeding us. There is another huge misconception. A few years ago, an article was written that we've reached the age of the Anthropocene, where the human being has become the biggest factor. And Shannon talked about how this change can be seen even from space. Scientists, economists are saying, oh, now that we are the big factor, let's be bigger factors. I call that the destructive Anthropocene. To not understand the impacts of your destruction and to treat this as a reason for deeper arrogance and deeper hubris. We're bringing out a report which actually formally will only be released 2 days from now. It's been brought out by Shume and Navdanya. It's called Visions of the Living Earth. Because the challenge we have in establishing, recognizing, strengthening the rights of the earth is the challenge of the mechanistic scientific revolution which says the earth is dead, therefore we can exploit anything. The living earth starts to allow us to recognize that there is a convergence between the new sciences of Gaia and the ancient knowledge of people across the world. People get very scared and says, oh my gosh, this green economy is the convergence of the biggest powers we could imagine. Big oil, big pharma, big chemicals, big agri-chemical, big anything, and they're all working together to grab what remains. They say 75% of the earth's resources aren't used. Of course they're used. They're used by the river, they're used by the local community, but they say if it's not in the market for exploitation, it's not used. And I think what we need to see is that there is a convergence of the destructive forces in violent form. Violent paradigms of thought, violent tools of technology, violent economies that kill. But there is a new convergence in the making of creative powers of the earth, all the species, all the life forms, and all humans. And we can only make this creative power unblocked by giving up the false and artificial distinctions. We need to recognize the real divides. But apartheid was an artificial distinction. Every artificial distinction must go so that we recognize ourselves as Earth citizens and rise as Earth citizens to create an Earth democracy based on living economies. Those are killing economies. The green economy is an economy of how fast you can destroy. Living democracy, both including all life on Earth as well as real democracy of the people, and living cultures that can only be created by recognizing the rights of the Earth. The signatures that this campaign led to, in India we collected 100,000. That's still too little. It's too little. It's a drop in the bucket. This river needs many, many more drops. Make your drop a signature on this petition.